My name's John Belil. I'm a resident here. I would like to just point out a few things to make this clear. Councillor Elliott has said that he feels misled by Hope Mission.
And Mr. Mayor, I don't know if Minister Wilson would have been involved had that component not been part of it when Minister Wilson got involved last year. And I just feel we have been misled. So thank you. You said that you would do some Indigenous teaching. I asked about smudging. I asked about ceremonies. The reason a number of people don't go to Hope Mission is because of the religious aspect. They feel it's colonialism because you're preaching at them just like colonialism was doing to them during the residential schools. I feel very, very strongly, Mr. Mayor and Council, that the Indigenous component of Hope Mission should be included in our, if we're going to contribute the land to this project.
Councillor Aberle has been on record to say that her decision to donate that land was based on that premise, a prerequisite before this was ever went any further.
A understanding of the programming that happens there would directly impact whether or not I support us giving land towards the proposed shelter.
Mr. Mayor, you've said that that was your understanding too.
I feel that if we don't have those types of services that go along with the other services that were needed that were missed out on the first couple of years of operating a shelter, I think we're wasting our time and money in providing any kind of land for a shelter to be there. I think for us to be successful, to change the dynamics of what the city looks like, it's got to be all or nothing. And if that's the biggest lesson I've taken away over the last 4 years of trying to have a functioning shelter with the supportive services that go along with it for mental health and addictions. Over 90% of the clientele that is utilizing shelter space, whether it was when the city was operating an emergency shelter, when it was contracted out, when another agency was running it, has that high number of First Nation or Indigenous representation. I think it's important that no matter who's operating that space, they understand that and understand the cultural differences between the two. And I think given our history of shelters in Wetaskiwin, contracted or agencies that have been operating in the community that haven't gone as well as they could, I think it's prudent that council does ask these questions and ensures that these services are being provided to the people that are utilizing the shelter or whatever the space or the programming that's in place. If we're going to be offering, or if council is going to be looking at donating land for something like that, I don't want to be checking a box and saying, well, we've done everything we can for our homeless population. It didn't work out. We tried. I think that we also have a responsibility to make sure that whoever's setting up or is operating that space is going to be successful as well. And I think we've lived in the community long enough to know what kinds of things are going to help make it successful.
The initial agreement with Hope Mission was based on that premise that Indigenous teachings and ceremonies would be involved in this deal.
The issue started with public urination, defecation, alcohol use, open drug use, and if we don't have the supports in place to look after the root causes of the problem, then we're going to continue having this problem.
To follow up then, so if, and I'm not saying Hope Mission isn't going to do anything, but what if they decided not to do any of those things? Would we just say, yes, we don't have a shelter?
I'm going under the report back from administration saying that they are going to be, and asking Kelly that at a previous council meeting saying that that's what they're going to be doing. I'm taking it at their word that this is the work they're going to be working towards. Hope
Mission has stated they're a Christian organization. They don't do Indigenous teachings or ceremonies.
The Hope Mission did reinstate to administration that their core business is focused on providing emergency shelter and housing to individuals that require these supports in Alberta. The Hope Mission, while understanding the importance of Indigenous supports, does not currently have the knowledge or expertise available internally to provide these services. The Hope Mission mentioned that without an increase in funding from the GOA or any other source, that it is difficult to provide expanded programming that the clientele requires.